Hey guys, JP from Major Gamage and Major Wrestling here. You will probably notice that we did a short video on the YouTube channel a couple of days ago when the new 2K20 came out, and we basically tried to play a match. It went out of sync, and we couldn't actually get back into a game again, so I ended up just doing a look through the roster and making some jokes about the way some of the characters look and things. And then that was about it, because that was basically all we could do. Now, for the first time in a long time, we are looking into potentially trying to look into getting a refund for 2K20, and I know Sony are offering them for people who bought digital and are not happy. Haven't heard if Xbox are doing the same thing, but the fact that it's at that point where a game that is basically a rehash of a rehash of a rehash of a rehash has just been stripped down that much, it's so broken you can no longer play it, is really, really disappointing and makes me wonder what people are being paid for, basically. What people are getting money for at 2K, the people who make this game, because there's no new content gone into the game for this year, bar some silly skins and some zombie arenas and things. There's a story mode that was basically just a cut and paste from last year's story mode with a female character as a choice. The whole idea behind WWE games, and at least how I play it, and I've played the first wrestling game I ever played was WrestleMania Challenge on the NES. So, we're talking 30 years ago that I played my first wrestling game where you played as you, and you fought Big Boss Man and Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Hulk Hogan, and you beat the Ultimate Warrior, and then you were the champion. Hooray, congratulations. And I played that for hours, and that was just a little isometric beat 'em up. And there was no skill, there was no real challenge, so you just spammed the buttons and you won. And all the way through to sort of like No Mercy, like the greatest hits, the ones everyone talks about, WCW, NWO Revenge, No Mercy, Here Comes the Pain. Those three kind of set the benchmark for how much fun you could have playing the game, repeatedly doing the same thing, but doing something different every time. So when you have something like the 2K series, which is a bit more simulated, no problem with that, because for its bugs, the bugs actually make the game unpredictable. And like wrestling, WWE, you get people who get caught up in the ropes and fall over and hurt themselves. You get moves that don't come out right, and the commentary just carry on as if nothing happened, and we all go, "Oh, what the hell was that?" So it's not when the bugs are there and they're funny and they're little things like the ladder glitches and smacks you in the face and you get knocked out. Fine, that's fun. That happens. Joey Mercury had a glitch happen in a match, and a ladder smacked him in his face and nearly took his eye out. Things like that happen in the ring. It's not unprecedented for things to go wrong in WWE. So when you have a simulated game that has a couple of bugs, a couple of issues, a couple of glitches, that's fine. And it's funny to find them, and it's funny to have stupid things happen that you can't predict. And it's usually the best part of the game is when I'm playing online with friends. We've all made our creator wrestlers that we've had for years. Like my guy, you've probably seen him in Universe mode and stuff, Leo Sterling. So this is my creator wrestler, Leo Sterling, that if you've watched any of the Major Wrestling series before, you've seen anything on Major Gamage of our funny moments and stuff, this is my guy. He's evolved over the years from a snooty British, better than you guy, which basically MJF has stolen. I'm going to put that out there. To the Bad Omen. He's a sadistic, crazy guy trying to seek vengeance on people in a mystical way, that kind of thing. Very two-dimensional character, very basic, and there's not much to him, really. But it's fun to, we make our own storylines and we have our own fun with the game. This year's one, 2K20, has taken out so many features that have been accustomed to and as standard, and even if they didn't work very well, they were in the game. So instead, like what Pokemon Go did, it's like, this doesn't work very well, we're just going to take it out. Instead of saying we're going to fix it, or let people plod on with it for now. It's like, no, we'll just strip it out. It doesn't work. No point. We don't want it. No one else wants it. So I do. Things like entrances, online matches. They finally added online lobbies. The thing we've been asking for since about 2007 that was taken out of the game because it was broken and didn't work very well. It's like, please fix this. No, they stripped it out. They took it away for 10 years. And they finally put it back in. It's like, at the moment, the game is unplayable. But they've put the option now to have private lobbies that you can open up to the public. Now, things like the private lobbies, when everyone's in, you then have 30 seconds to pick your character. And it's like, hold on, I don't know yet. We haven't even discussed what we're playing. We don't know what match we're doing. I almost never play the actual characters in the game. Very rarely will I, like, for the first couple of weeks, I will play as the Big Boss Man or Vader or some of the legends that have not been in the game before. The rest of the time, like, I don't know my stats aren't on it to look at, but the people I've played at the most, I think I probably played like a match as AJ Styles, a match as Daniel Bryan, a couple of matches as Drew McIntyre, and then about 600 matches as one of my creator wrestlers. So the fun I get out of the game is primarily from playing as my guy. It's primarily from playing as a creator wrestler with my friends online. And they're making that harder and harder and harder to accomplish every year. Every single year, there's something that's added, two things are taken away. They finally added lobbies. They've got rid of being able to use custom arenas and using entrances online. So the hours you put into the character, at the moment as well, you can't have belts because it's not implemented, and downloadable images don't work. So I can't actually make my character because everything on him... He's got a black t-shirt, black pants. That's it. The face paint I've made on like Photoshop. The t-shirt design I've made on Photoshop. The trousers I've made on an app on my phone. The knee pads I've made on an app on my phone. So he's just a blank canvas that I've printed the decals that I want onto him. And he's there. But I can't do that at the moment, so I can't make my guy. So I don't want to play. My fun in the game, the thing that I like to play as, has gone because they were focused too much on getting the game out on time and making it look good when it doesn't. But the graphics don't matter. I don't care about the graphics. So if it looks worse than last year, I'm going to have complaints. But if it looks the same as last year, or there's a little bit better on something, we've kind of reached a plateau of where the current technology is going to go for graphics. I don't mind 2K20 looking the same as 2K19 for graphics. I don't mind it looking the same as 2K18 for graphics. I probably won't notice the difference. I won't look into it. I don't go on and compare, like you get all these videos online of like 2K18 to 2K19, like they just show the entrance of each character over and over. And the whole thing is so generically different. So let me just double check on the dog. She's barking at someone outside. Random knobheads walking down the middle of the street with their hands down their kecks. Lovely stuff. Good dog. Good dog shout at the scallies. Good dog. So what were we saying? Yeah, so the whole graphics and things and little bugs like last year. Well, no, it wasn't even last year. It was a year before or the year before that. It was like might have even been 2K17. There was a way to fall into the crowd. Like you could like do any move that went into the barrier. There was a chance you'd like clip through the barrier and end up in the crowd, and then you get stuck in the crowd. And you'd have to like lean over the barrier and your arms would like stretch out to the ring as you tried to get back to the ring. So it was stupid things like that made us laugh. Wasn't game breaking. You could play the game. Occasionally it'd go out of sync. That's always been an issue, and it's just one of those things we kind of had to deal with. But when things fall through the floor and clip through the floor and get stuck, when match rules that are applied don't apply, and I've had like the ones where like the Kevin Owens won the Money in the Bank with a pinfall. It's like how, why, Was it actually a Money in the Bank match? Was it a 6-man ladder match that didn't have the briefcase above the ring, and it just decided to put the briefcase in afterwards? I don't know. All the ones with like people like sprinting around the ring and clipping through and getting stuck in ropes and stuff, that's game breaking and needs fixing. But the stupid little bugs from the last couple of years weren't a big deal. They were part of the fun. They were part of the unpredictability of the game. The things that they should have been focusing on, instead of like, they've got the roster. So any new characters that need to be in it, guys like Dijak and stuff, who isn't it? But yeah, Humberto Carrillo is in the game. That's fine. You know, they've added a few new characters that need to be in the game. But they're not focused on the core gameplay. What was it? He actually says the primary gameplay loop. The idea is you get in the ring, you have a match. You want to win the match. That's your primary gameplay loop. So you want to walk around and punch things until they stop moving or do cool moves. We want to do set pieces. I don't want to just have a 20-minute chain wrestling match, or we like take it in turns to set up crazy ladder table spots, and then it's not get put through the ladder or not get put through the table. So we have like, once it's set up, then the tussle begins, like an actual wrestling match. So Kevin Owens will get out the ring and set up a table and a chair, and then he'll try and put someone through it, and then they'll struggle, and then he'll eventually go through it. It's, oh no, it went against him, because it always does. That was the fun of the game. It was setting up stupid things to do to your friends. So as long as you can do that with our custom characters that we've made and we've been tweaking for ages, and there's some customization that we didn't have before, and they've added new features to make it more fun and easier and more streamlined to make your guy, that's fine. You know, like my guy, like in the old days, you sit there for 4 hours making your guy and tweaking all the graphics and things. Nowadays, you've got Image Uploader. That's a wonderful thing they've added to the game. So instead of having to sit there with pixel art on the game with your controller going, oh, that's a dot, oh no, that needs to be blue, oh, that needs to be, and then pasting it on your thing, you just upload an image from Google if you like it, and just paste it on a t-shirt, or make, you know, like my text across my chest, I downloaded a text thing from dafont.com and put it through a photo editor app on my thing to make it look a bit pixelated and a bit like stretch the colour out on it, and then I put it through another app called Glitch that like twisted it and distorted it and put like stripes across it. Ta-da! I've got a funky custom font. Easy enough. It took me 2 minutes to make a t-shirt that I liked. But things that have been, they've updated the controls this year. And I haven't, as I say, we haven't had a match to actually, I'm not managed to actually have a match to test out the controls to see if they're any use. We did spend about a minute and a half trying to work out how to set up a ladder and climb the ladder, because the controls are different. So it was like left bumper to pick up the ladder, A to set up the ladder, right bumper to climb the ladder. That is not intuitive controls. 3 different buttons to pick up, set up, and climb a ladder. How is that streamlining the controls for new users? If right bumper's always climb, so right bumper is you climb on the turnbuckle, you climb out the ring, that's right bumper. Okay, I get that. Left bumper is pick up and put down, but B is also pick up and put down. So why do you need both? You don't need both. A is suddenly set up. Why is A set up? Why isn't hold left bumper set up? So if you pick something up, then you hold the button to set it up afterwards. So why does there have to be a third button involved for one object? But yeah, the controls have always been a bit finicky, and to be honest, muscle memory from like things like Y is, instead of being a finisher, Y is now reversal. It's just something you deal with. You know, I'll get used to it. It's 15 years of muscle memory telling me that right trigger is reverse. You know, it's going to take a while to change, but I'm not opposed to them using a different button for reverse and then something else for finisher, so A and X or Y and B or whatever it was to do signatures and finishes and things. That's fine. You know, just the prompts are on screen. They teach you they show you what to do. You get used to it, and it will come around. But if you can't play the game to actually try the fucking controls, then you're never going to get used to it. Things like the submission system, as I haven't had the chance to see what it looks like. I know you could switch between the wheel and the button pushes to fill the bar up, but submissions are crap. if you are playing online with friends, when I play online with friends, we turn submissions off. We just say you're not allowed to use submissions, and because of that, we can't play with the AI. Because if the AI locks you in a submission after a grueling match, you're screwed. You can't escape because you're that battered. Because realistically, if you're that battered in a wrestling match, someone puts you in a submission, you tap out. But even something as benign as a shoulder claw or something if it has the gauge on it, the AI just goes, oh yeah, you're submitting because you're that battered. So it just ruins your immersion in the game. It ruins the flow you had, ruins any plans you had for the game. So we just say there's a gentleman's agreement, no submissions because they're broken. Things like the pinfall, anything that has to deal with online latency, pinfall submissions, that bar that swings around, you have to stop it in the sweet spot. Crap. Such a crap design for something that you can play online and then has to rely on pinpoint timing, for when you're watching an online screen, which has varying delays of latency, and when you battered the pin, it's a slither of a bar. So these things can be updated. I've had, unfortunately, I've put posts on things many times over about things I would change, and obviously there's thousands of these posts, and they get lost in the shuffle, and they never get seen. But, something like with a pinfall, you have, like at the start of the match, if someone pins you, you have a button prompt at the top that just says AX, right trigger, and you push AX, right trigger, and your shoulder comes off the mat. Later on in the game, you've got yellow health. It's AAXY, right trigger. AAXY, right trigger, your shoulder comes off the mat. Or left trigger, your shoulder comes off the mat. It's one of the two shoulders, depending on how you've been pinned. It can be contextual. You get hit with a finisher, suddenly it's AABYXA, right trigger, or left trigger, or both. You have to power. You can like, if you were Braun Strowman, you can like push both triggers. You get one use of both triggers. You just push both triggers, and you just go, and hulks out, and that's like your resiliency being used. Why can't that be the way it works? So as the game progresses, you get more and more. Basically, you just have like a string of text across the screen, and eventually you'll miss one, and you have to restart, and you don't have enough time to do it. So you physically have one shot at it, and it'll show you it's a 3-second combo. So it's YYABXY, and if you mess up, you then have the rest of the 3 count to YYABXY. Oh no, YYAB right. That's all it needs to do. Submissions. You crawl with left and right trigger to the rope, and you have to time it, or you have to keep it in a beat. As your character's hands hit the mat, you push right trigger, then left trigger, then right trigger, then left trigger, and you crawl. Or you have to mash both the triggers to power up and hulk up, and the other players has to, I don't know, maybe they're trying to hide the bar that you have to push A into power out of. So there's a wheel that spins in the same way the old wheel was with the blue and the red, but instead you have to just stop your little cursor in their wheel, and they're trying to hide the wheel from your cursor. So you're chasing them, and so every time they pull away, they're applying pressure, and the further away it is, the more pressure that stuns you. Just little things like that would make it easier to do online, more realistic, and things like you crawl into the ropes in a move. So if you have the option to crawl to a rope, you're pushing the triggers to crawl. If you need to power out of the move because it's like a bear hug or something like that, or if your guy starts to get weak and limp and goes down as if the ref's going to do the whole 3 count with the arm and things, but you can hulk out of it and mash the buttons to build up your power bar, and then pull the triggers, and you go and you snap, and you have to time the punches, or you have to there's a contextual button push, so you go X and you go whack, X, whack, B, whack, and it breaks the hold, and then you run off. Then immediately you run off the ropes and they're stunned, so you then have the advantage. So it means if someone puts you in a submission, they're putting themselves at more of a disadvantage because that's how it works. That's how it would simulate in the game. That's how it simulates in the actual wrestling thing. It's disappointing to see that 2K20 has taken stuff out that would have made the game at least bearable for the sake of releasing an unfinished game. Instead of just waiting to January and saying, really sorry guys, due to the constraints, we can't release this game until January. Done. Okay, fair enough. We understand. I'd rather play a finished game in January than not play a game until January because it's broken and it has to sit there taking up space on my hard drive. Can't play it now anyway. So I might as well wait until January for a finished game. And unfortunately now, because it's been out 2 months and it's been broken and there's going to be all this hardship about it, in January sales it's going to be 30 quid. So people who would have bought the game for 60 quid in January are now only going to pay 30 quid in January because you guys messed it up. Instead of getting more time or explaining the situation and having conversations with your fans and actually being open and honest and talking about it instead of just corporate double-speaking everything. You know, well, we're going to add the custom titles and things in a patch later on, which wasn't feasible within the time frame right now. But it's coming. So, okay. But why was it feasible last year to have it? Why is it not feasible this year when it was in the game last year if you've just got the same thing to transfer? I don't make games, so I don't know if you've started a whole new code. It doesn't look like a different engine. It doesn't look like a completely new game. Most of the animations and the character models are very similar to last year. Why is stuff being taken out that was already in the game from last year anyway? But yeah, so the things like they could have added more things to the game that would have at least added some variety to it. So, you know, more features for creator wrestlers that are like generic things. Like, how many Titantrons are there for non-wrestlers? 0. You either have a big thing the other has like Bray Wyatt stars, or you have something that's plastered across that says Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns or John Cena. Or you find something that doesn't have the name on it, and you're very limited to your choices of what you can have. So you kind of just stuck. And if you do want to use like a custom Titantron or anything like that, you can't use it online, so you can't play with your friends. Which doesn't matter, because they've taken entrances out of online mode anyway. So they've missed a big portion of what the problems with the game was. Like, they've not listened to the feedback. Anytime I go online on like Reddit or anything like that, and I look at the feedback, no one is talking about how The Rock doesn't look as good this year as he does last year. You know, from previous years, no one has said that the graphics are getting worse or the graphics need improving or it looks outdated. It's a very small proportion of people that actually give a crap about the graphics of the game. The vast majority of the problems I've seen are people saying it doesn't work online, there's not enough content, they've taken stuff out. Why isn't there online support for the game going forward for things like community creations? Why isn't there just WWE 2K? It doesn't need a number. And then you have the game. I mean, so we're at the point now where it has plateaued for graphics and what it can do on the console. So for the next one, maybe start with 2K21 as WWE 2K Online, WWE 2K Universe. You have a game where you block amount of wrestlers, and then you have a season pass. I hate the season pass mechanic for most things, but for WWE, it's the kind of thing that would probably make sense, that would actually have a useful effect. So you could have your main roster, a couple of legends and stuff like that, and then in 6 months' time, they update the SummerSlam patch. So you get a couple of new arenas, new attires for a couple of the wrestlers. There's things added to like a special section of the community creations page, which is like which is what they've basically done with the universe creations of the 2K creator suite or whatever it's called. And you just go on there, and then you've got all the DLC there to download or buy or whatever, and they've got a free content section with like, hey, here's Ricochet's attire from SummerSlam 2021. Here's Charlotte's attire from 2019. Here's Becky Lynch's new t-shirt that she's just unveiled. We've got it ready for you. Here you go. With a couple of weeks, someone just makes a t-shirt up, puts it on there, ta-da, there's an official t-shirt for the game. You just add it on, it's patched onto Becky Lynch, and it's just an extra costume. So if you want to come down with, you can have 5 costume slots. And if you then want to take out one, delete one, upload another one, take more, you can. And you can just delete the old one. So if you like, oh, well, she's got a new attire now, let's delete 2018s and put 2019s on. Delete 2019s and put 2020 on. And just do that every year. Oh, look, this new guy's just debuted for the company. And 6 months down the line, once his moveset and his attire's there and his music's there and his Titantron's been uploaded, it's on the community creations. And you can just download this new character for $2.99. Right? Or you buy a season pass. So anything that's uploaded between the game launch and SummerSlam, you can have. And then when the next one comes around, you pay again for another season pass, £29.99, 25 quid, something like that, and then you get a chunk of new wrestlers, new attires, new moves, new whatever, and then it rolls around to the next SummerSlam, and you get bits and pieces as you go. It's not that difficult. It wouldn't be that hard to do. As I say, the graphics don't matter. As long once the gameplay's solid and the online works, that's me happy. The only thing that I've done differently last year that I hadn't really done before was I really got into Universe Mode, and I sat there and I played Universe Mode for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and I went through and I made my own custom universe in the end, and I downloaded lots of people's custom wrestlers, and I made my own show with lots of, like, there's no one in my Universe Mode that's actually in the game. So there's no Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, John Cena, anything like that. It's just characters, custom belts, championships, wrestlers. And I had a really good time playing this mode. And in the new one, I can't do it because custom images don't work. The community creation thing is currently broken. You can't make custom belts. There's so, and if you're lucky, if you get a match to work to begin with. So at the moment, I can't even play the game. So I wanted to do 2K20 season universe mode and stream at least once or twice a week and do a couple of episodes a week and have like a full season and have maybe like between now and the next game coming out, do 2 full years of universe mode with all these random characters that you guys have made and tagged me in, and I've downloaded them, and fill up a roster of 50, 60 random people and just see what happens and invest in something that isn't a WWE branded thing and just watching the same old thing over and over again, but can't do it this year. So this is just kind of a video to say there will be no WWE content for the new game. I might come back to this one and just carry on with this because I've got the universe mode set up and ready to go, right up to, where was I going? So I think I had pay-per-view set up and ready to go until December or January or something along those lines. So I might just come back and do this one because I was having fun doing this, and I only stopped it because the new one was due out. So I might do 2K19 universe mode again and set up waiting until January and to see if they fix 2K20, it goes down in price, or I'm just really disappointed that it's not there to play. But that's it, yeah. But never mind. So I'll for now I'm probably going to carry on playing the Stonercraft on Minecraft Realm. Doing that, so I'm having a good laugh doing that and customizing my biome and things. So I'll be streaming that occasionally and uploading videos onto the YouTube channel for that. But yeah, I might end up doing 2K19 universe mode again because I'd say I thoroughly enjoyed it. I like doing the commentary, and I know the feedback had been positive for people who'd watched it and things. So I guess it's going to be 2K19. But for now, that's it. I've rambled on for half an hour about why I'm disappointed in 2K dropping the ball and not just owning the shit, man. I'm sure, I don't know what the costs are for like putting a game back or trying to fix it, but the reports online said that Ukes said they were leaving in like July, August. So if that was the case, 2K20 was already nearly finished by that point. So did Ukes just say, do you know what, this game's shit? We don't want to be part of this. We're just nothing to do with us. You guys have messed it up. We're out. We won't tell anyone, but they'll see. Don't you worry. You've got a month to fucking fix it before it goes to print. Before it was a gold. You have a gold release or something. It goes to gold. So I can't remember the technical term for it, but when the game is finished and it gets ready to be printed and it's in its final stage, that was what this 2K20 was what they deemed to be good enough for release and patch later. If there wasn't a day one patch with 2K that fixed 90% of the problems, they've messed up. They've done something terribly wrong with that game. It's like, literally, we've tried to have a game. It went out of sync. I think we might have one match that actually finished. And then one of the guys on the channel was trying to make his entrance. Every time he selected something to preview, it crashed the game. Like, literally, he had to dashboard the game every time he tried to view anyone's entrance coming onto the ramp. And one of the other guys on the channel, every time he tried to set up a match, it got to 60% loading time and crashed, and he had to dashboard the game as well. So, can't make anything, can't play anything, can't do anything. The game is messed up. So, yeah, back to 2K19, I think, for the videos for the foreseeable future until, at the very least, they've fixed it enough to play and put the features in that should have been in the game from day one that they've just decided from time constraints that they can't fit in, even though we can't really work out where the time's gone. I say, why they can't just have a subscription service and just have the game roll over to next year and they just change the number, I don't know, but oh well. That's me. That's my half an hour rant about WWE over. It was only meant to be 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It just ended up, there was just so much that just infuriated me and should have been changed, but we'll leave it there, and I'm gonna go play a bit of Minecraft or something in a bit. Yeah, I've got to go out shortly anyway. But yeah, we'll hopefully see you on the channel later on today for a bit of Minecraft. Then maybe later on in the week we'll probably do a bit of WWE 2K19 Universe Mode and carry the story on, the great matches that we've had. Tanner and Compton. I don't know, I can't remember what the storylines right now. Air Mac and Alpha as a tag team. What an interesting idea that is. Yeah. So yeah, we'll carry on from here at some point soon. Thank you very much for watching. Go and do something productive for the rest of your day, because I'm sure as hell not. I'm just going to wallow in self-pity at the demise of a game franchise that I've enjoyed for the last 2 decades, and hope that something else comes out soon that is just as fun and has some customizable options. Hopefully that new AEW game that's been rumoured will have some creator wrestler stuff that's actually fun and lets you play the game as you want to. We'll find out. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.